Today, the Free Nnamdi Kanu protest. I think a day before that or 2 days before that, there was another protest that Nnamdi Kanu should remain behind bars. When the NSAS protest happened 5 years ago, there was an anti-NSAS protest. So, we have come to a point where we are becoming used to anti-protest, and that's not a problem, right? We all have freedom of association, affiliation, whether or not you believe the protest is sponsored or is not sponsored. Anybody can support anything, and they have a right. But here's the thing. Somehow, the police never get intelligence reports with the anti-protest. They never get a court order. They are never afraid that people in that protest would break law and order. For some reason, there is no problem at all. But let me not call it the main protest because I want to believe the two protests are important. But the protest that usually draws more attention, the police always needs to justify why they use tear gas. Always needs to remind us that there's a court order. Now, I'm not for or against the police, but if you follow the trend of things, any right-thinking person would believe that the police is biased. Because somehow, when this other protest pops up, there's no problem. So while Hundeyi might be making a strong point, the posturing of the police desperately works against his position. So, in order to be fair, maintain the same energy when the protest happens and the anti-protest happens. It's that simple.
We took that step in order to protect the critical infrastructure in those areas. No matter where you protest, your voices will be heard. In fact, this is the age of internet. People will always make videos and stream and make their voices heard. There was a group that protested along this road some years back. It was chaos. In fact, I remember that the ambulance that was there was burnt down. So,
all right. And if you are a protesting youth, a Nigerian who wants to air their grievance, please understand that a protest is different from madness. It's not an excuse for you to cause chaos. The police will arrest you, and they should. Well, moving from that to another headline connected to the protest, but it's about how it affected the residents of Abuja. It was quite an inconvenience. Transport fares significantly increased along the Yanya-Maraba axis as a protest for the release of Nnamdi Kanu caused major gridlock on Monday. Commercial drivers who usually charge 500 to 700 naira from Yanya to the city center demanded 1,200, while Okada riders charge up to 2,000 naira for the same route. The standstill left many residents stranded as they struggled to get to work, with several abandoning vehicles to trek long distances. Our correspondent in the federal capital spoke to some of those residents.
And we just keep pressing for traffic. And this is after these nonsense buses were collecting 1-2 instead of the usual 800 naira. People come out traffic finish. You still have to walk a long distance just to get to work.
Wow, I don't dey road 2 hours. Just the crawl. Drop from Motona, enter Okada. Okada they say to AY from Nyanya na 2,000. To even reach the AY itself, no road. As it be like this now to go back house. Even to go back house now, Okada they count that money. So na leg they use the match they go back house. This kind of wahala this morning. Person won't find daily bread, but even the bread see now money for paracetamol. They find now where you go take after this whole trekking.
Nah, no be small thing this morning. No. Everywhere block. We be one follow Caro block. We now turn to Nyanya block. Everywhere block. As we even read the Kubo, no place we dey check. As I dey so now going back a day.
Yeah, you have to feel for them. People who just wanted to go about their lives. And it's one of the many points of conversation. Chief Festus Oguche was here yesterday, and we talked about the impact of these demonstrations on the city and the people. And that's why it's important that most protests are peaceful, because if you conduct it well, then there will be minimal disruption to flow of traffic and all of that, because most times it's a march for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Imagine living in Abuja yesterday and you in an office that is maybe, so come on Monday the 20th of October, thank you sir. As you wake up, Nnamdi Kanu must go. Is it must go? What was the, well, whatever they were chanting. And somehow you can't get to the interview on time. You'd be pissed. Imagine if a woman was in labor. There are lots of reasons why that disruption and gridlock would have caused devastating consequences to a lot of people. So while you have the right to protest, there must be consideration for everyone else's ease and convenience. It's very important. Finally, petrol still tops Nigeria's import chart despite the rise of Dangote Refinery. Fresh data from Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority show that between October 2024 and October 2025, Nigerians consumed over 613 million liters of petrol, with imports accounting for about 63% of that supply. All analysts, Olatide Jeremiah, says the situation remains troubling for a country that's Africa's largest crude producer and home to the continent's largest refinery. All of these records at this time do not make any sense because they have not translated to visible impact. Dangote, that has the biggest refinery in Africa, produces just 40% of Nigeria's consumption at this time, even though the refinery has the capacity to supply to the entire country. The point is, whether it's Dangote Refinery or any other refinery, we need to be self-sufficient with petrol. Now, at this time, Dangote's refinery is on stream. It's working. We need the government-owned refineries to work. It has to work. We also know that BUA is building a refinery. It's a project that's ongoing. According to official reports, it's a 200,000 barrel per day production. That's the capacity. So if BUA comes on stream, Dangote is working, and we get our refineries to work, and we can maximize our crude, then we should be self-sufficient when it comes to oil production, refining, and consumption. It is very important. Because you see, the things that happen in Nigeria, it's drama and fairy tales. It's not the kind of thing that should happen in real life. It's the kind of story you hear, you watch on TV. But if someone tells you this is a people's reality and they are rich in oil, you would swear that the person is joking. So we need to fix whatever the mess is in the oil sector. Thanks for listening to my TED Talk. It's time for you to be a part of the conversation. 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0003. WhatsApp is 080-903-06416. We're live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube at Nigeria Info PH. You can watch, listen, and engage. The police have defended the use of tear gas on Free Nnamdi Kanu protesters. The protest grounds traffic and hikes fares in the FCT. And petrol imports still dominate as Dangote Refinery supplies just 40% of Nigeria's fuel needs. Please turn off your radio as you call. It's very important. Steve is my first caller. I'll be speaking to him in a bit. Our judiciary is a tool in the hands of politicians always doing the bidding. Why will the judge ask citizens not to protest? How will they feel the impact of what they've done? The police are even worse. Ezekiel Isaiah says, well, the restriction was not protesting around certain high security areas. Didn't say they should not protest. Just said don't go to the villa, don't go to the National Assembly, avoid Shehu Shagari Way. There were 3 or 4 other venues. So that was the order. Steve calls from Port Harcourt. Hello, Steve.
Good afternoon, my brother. How are you today?
I'm well. How you doing?
Yeah, good. Let us look at the protest yesterday. It's very true that democracy, freedom of expression, freedom of movement, all those stuff. But we are looking at Nigeria as an entity. They say revolution, this and that. Look at what has happened in North America, North Africa, for the past 4 or 5 years. After those revolutions, those countries are not stable. As of today, one of the countries have 2 governments. So this is Nigeria is a unique country. Religious, ethnicity, all those things. So we are doing this, and they were expecting somebody like Shomowele, who has been very exposed, is educated. He was campaigning for presidency of this country, which is an avenue for change so many things. He felt it's wrong. And we were expecting to continue that line of pursuing the political line. So I can enter that office and make all the changes. This one is doing now. You are only sending people to disaster and causing problems to the economy. We said we want to go to Abuja. Yesterday was blocked down. No harm economic what we have blocked yesterday because of one particular thing. So we should be able to know what we are doing. Let us tell the country. The person who is there is a human being, part of us. It's not from America, it's a Nigerian. The Nigerian destroyed all of us.
Yeah, but Steve,
you want to destroy it. End of the day, where are you going to go?
Steve.
So let's start to deal with it.
Hello, Steve. Can you hear me?
Destroy. Where did you go? So please let them have a little another thinking about it. How do we change this narrative?
Hello,
Thank you very
Steve.
much.
Steve. Hello, can you hear me?
I'm there. Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Okay, so responding to your comment on Showere's profile literally reads human rights activist. He's been doing protests since his school days. His presidential ambition is recent.
Yeah.
So if you're saying this one, he's now doing protests, this is what he has always been doing. I'm not for or against, but I'm telling you that his primary profile is activist before presidential candidate.
Yeah.
Right?
And part of that activity making was associated from the school, isn't it?
Yes, I mean, it's not. I'm telling you that he's been protesting longer than he's been trying to be president, because your statement said this one he now is protesting.
So what was the intention of coming into politics to become a presidential candidate? What's the intention of that?
Well, he would have to answer that question, but
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just telling you.
Somebody wants to correct a system. And correct the system, make sure you go there, find a way, get a political party, so we can make all the changes, not from the road side like this.
I agree completely. I get you. But again, because this is hard facts, and well, this particular fact is at my disposal, your posturing, what you said was focus on being a president, this new trend of activism. So I'm just telling you that it's not new. He's been doing this longer than he's wanted to be president. That's where I'm coming from. I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong. Chris from Ozuoba. Ken from Ubimini.
Good afternoon, SOC.
Good afternoon.
SOC, if I may ask, which of the courts that declared Nnamdi Kanu a few years ago to be released, and which of them now that restrained the protesters not to do so, rather than telling them where to go and where to not go?
I'll have to look it up. I had that open here. I'll get the answer.
I think if I say that our judiciary is frustrating this country, the more they are the people making the citizens of this country to seem as if the way you look, the more you look, the less you see. God restraining them on where not to go and failed to tell them where to go. We are talking about peaceful demonstration here, based on what the court had ruled few years ago. And that is what I believe that made Oshowere to be protesting or to be organizing this protest. I don't know if you understand me, Mr. SOC.
Yes, I'm listening.
So if you ask me, I will say that let federal government tell the whole world why they don't want to listen or adhere to this Supreme Court. Though I don't know the court that declared him released few years ago. So let them tell us so that we will know why Nnamdi Kanu is being detained up to date, irrespective of the protest.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. For the more recent court order, that was from the Federal High Court, Abuja. It was on October 17. They gave an injunction restraining Showore and 4 others from staging protests around certain areas. Aso Villa, National Assembly, Force Headquarters, Court of Appeal, Eagle Square, and Shehu Shagari Way. So that was the Federal High Court in Abuja. The other one, I will still get the particular court. All right, let's take messages. The police is always on the side of government and ruling class. That's why they will never support any anti-government protests, especially in this part of the world. They will always find intelligence reports against anti-government protests. Police is not working for the people, but for the government, Hector says. Sam, what has the police learned from the kidnapping and criminal activities that happened in our society every day? What has the police done to defend the people and to protect lives and property in our society? Nigerians are being ravaged every day by criminals and terrorists, but the police have not been able to stop the criminals and is not prepared to do so. But when it comes to the people, they suddenly awake and start protecting critical infrastructure. Was it not the same police that defied the court's order on tinted glass? We have a partisan police who is also very incompetent. John from Port Harcourt. Yes, indeed. With the tinted permit, they conveniently did not see the order. Chima, good afternoon.
Mr. Oracle, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, Chima Dike from Mukta.
Go ahead.
Mr. Oracle, with the illustration that you gave, you could see how frustrating this effort gives to Nigerian citizens that are going about their normal job. Now, if I say this isn't a protest, but that is an insurrection, and so it has been tagged, or I'm still an insurrectionist. Because if you are protesting, you're protesting because you felt that the rights of the people are being infringed. By so doing, not doing things orderly, but according to the rules of the time. And they have given you a little ordinance from the court, not get to so place for your protest and not so place for your protest. But why you go along and do go around and do what you are expected to do, but rather you contravene. Now you're protesting for somebody that has been given bail before, that absconded from it or jumped bail. Ordinary in Nigerian law, that person is supposed to be a criminal. Now you're protesting for somebody that has formed a group that which people are saying that it was hijacked by some individual, but which I will say he was there announcing people's head that will be chopped off. A governor by then that the governor head should be chopped off, and he's going to pay some amount of money. The kind of protest, calling nations different kind of names. Then you're saying that you want to protest, they should release that kind of person in the public. A man that has tried to ridicule or to jeopardize the economy of a nation by declining 1 full day or 2 days to be workers free. Everybody should stay at home without minding anything or how it's going to affect the people. That's what you're talking about now. The nation should hear about. But it's not be giving bail. Now the issue here now is that what has been truncating his judgment. It is the same as lawyers that have been bringing different motions that maybe no question to answer, no this to this. What do you expect the court to do? They will satisfy the main judgment or the main case of the day and look into this one that you have brought. That are the things that have been keeping him to be prolonged up till now.
Okay.
I want to say you have seen the protest.
All right.
I want to say that I am regretting why he is not among those that have been apprehended. So that maybe he could also face the law to see how it means to contravene the law of the land.
All right, thank you, Chima. Emeka calls from Elele. Good afternoon, Emeka.
Yes, Chinedu Arako.
Good afternoon.
It's high time we educate the callers. What is the problem of the last caller? You have to educate them. Everybody has a freedom of protest, right of protest and movement. I'm not interested in between. I'm not siding the government. The problem is let the rule of law be followed. They have Federal High Court granted this young man there. The same federal government insisted. I'm not in support of a protest or not. But the problem is the Southeast leadership and opinion leader, they are the one holding Nnamdi Kanu. I keep on saying it. The political class, the governors, the assembly members, they are not united. That is why sometimes anything that concerns the Southeast, it pisses me up. Because there is a lot of betrayal among them. Look at their brother that is agitating for a right cause. They are sabotaging the thing behind. They want to buy paper from this. That's not my business for today. My dear brother, they are about the refinery. The refinery, do you know that Nigeria, they said they budgeted almost 18 or 20 billion naira in a Petrol refinery and a Warri refinery. Where is the money today? Where is the refinery? Andrew. Sorry, Chinedu. Where is the refinery? Where is the money? So I am calling on EFCC to look into those problems, those refinery and anything. They should bring the person that is in charge. Whether it is president, they should bring president to the law. If it's involved, if it is the Minister of Petroleum, because we can't put our hands. A group of people would be diverting our resources. Where is our own refinery that we budget money for?
All right, Emeka, thank you very much. Oracle believe police and Nigeria government at your own risk. NSAR's denial were made even when people died. The panel indicted the no sound of live ammunition is laughable. You can't expect anything less because intrusions come from the presidency depending on what he wants, down to the least. Emidim from Port Harcourt says, Sam, greetings. I'm not a supporter of Nnamdi Kanu, but let the federal government do the needful, as they have pardoned some persons convicted of one crime or the other. They should also pardon Nnamdi Kanu for equity and justice. That's from Thank God. Atuebu. The protest is a constitutional thing for citizens, but it's questionable when a subsistent court case is on and you see supposed lawful citizens indulge in a protest against a matter subsisting in court. That protest was an aberration, God's power, Igwe says. And this one says, okay, I can't take that. We'll take this break, and when I return, I'll take more messages. Stay with us.